Evolution is a really funny thing because usually the things that evolve don't end up killing the other species that they evolved from. If you go back to that old analogy of television being the campfire at night or something that everybody gathers around. Actually, what you've got is you've got an interactive campfire now. In the early days of Nike, we were all drinking the Kool-Aid. This was a mission from God. They allowed us to do some really outrageous things, and television was so perfect for that because you could say something in 30 seconds or 60 seconds that people go, what? Or they'd laugh or they'd cry or whatever. I think if they had tried to go into a dialogue right away, I'm not sure it would have worked quite as well. Now that interactive relationship is critically important. People that bemoan the death of the 30-second television commercial probably need to just kind of watch the returns. An interesting thing happened when we picked up Levi's a couple of years ago. Part of the problem was with Levi's was that they had lost their voice. Because we were able to do a couple of really startling television commercials that positioned the heart and soul of this brand again, it started a new conversation. And for us not to have made a big broadcast and just waited for a dialogue to happen, I think we probably wouldn't have been as successful. If you look at the Chrysler spot we did last year, that dramatically helped the positioning of that brand and that company and giving a sense of what they valued and what Detroit stands for. And you couldn't have done that online and got that kind of an audience. What this business is not about selling stuff. This business is about creating strong, provocative relationships between good companies and their customers. Those relationships will feed the business, but you have to feed the relationship first. What you want to do as a client often depends upon getting people's attention. And if you try and walk down the street and talk to people one at a time, that may work, but it might be better as if you could have an audience of an entire city or an entire state or an entire country or the entire world and say something very provocative. Then you can set the stage for a really intimate conversation and an ongoing relationship. For instance, with Old Spice, we started with television and gained attention, and then took that campaign and ran it digitally and responding online to tweets.
Are you flirting with me?
But there's other times where we'll start in reverse and do stuff online and get a sense of where people are, do a lot of experimentation, and then take what was hot and blow it up and finish it up in television. I don't think we're in a place where we're going to have to choose between doing broadcast or interactive. I think that's ridiculous. That's like saying, do you want a right hand or a left hand? I want to use both my hands, you know, and some other appendages as well. I mean, it's just boring if you only have to, if this is a choice. It's not a choice. It's just expanding the opportunities, the more tools you have. So I think there's going to be a lot of really unique approaches to the interaction of screens going forward. If you were watching the Super Bowl this year, you had the opportunity to watch the polar bears from Coca-Cola watch the game and respond to the game in live time on a separate screen. And that kind of thing is really, really interesting. This new generation of consumers are not going to sit there and accept the products and accept the messaging. They want to be part of the action. And clients, if they're smart, realize that they are not the president of the communication system. They are one person, one entity in conversation with millions and millions and billions of people. And so they have to listen and learn how to listen as well as how to present themselves. The idea of getting really personalized communication, it can get to a place where I find it completely irritating, quite honestly. I don't like the idea that the eye in the sky knows exactly who I am and wants to sell me this now because I'm looking at this online. I think that's kind of disgusting, quite honestly. Dude, I'll get there when I want to get there. You know, I don't want you prying into what I'm watching. Oh, you're reading Grapes of Wrath? Ah, we've got some wonderful grapes for sale. You know, it's like, come on. I don't like being nostalgic, and I don't like being futuristic. I just like working with what we've got right now, because half the time people that think they know what the future is, they're just making shit up, you know what I mean? What will not go away is the art of storytelling. When you read a book, when you watch a movie, when you see a television commercial, that's a one-way piece of communication. And that's always going to be powerful. Always, always, always.